What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel once again. We're going to do another double ISY, and I'll be completely honest, it's been a minute since I've even done one of these, but the Samsung Galaxy S9, I actually reviewed it last year, and it was like towards the end of the year, but so many things have even changed since it's even that video itself. I mean, we've seen a new phone release its updated version, we've seen a new Android version and all of that. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to install Android Pie on it, or Android One UI, whatever you want to call it. Of course, it is better overall. I don't think it's going to take a huge hit on performance or anything, so just keep that in mind. It's more so like a features thing, maybe some stability here and there, but the overall UI I think is better on One UI. But like I said, performance, everything, battery life even, is not going to be crazily affected by that one update. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, I did own the base model of the Samsung Galaxy S9, and I'll be completely honest, I think the Galaxy S9 is one of the best phones for the value still. I've seen a lot of these for around a certain price tag of less than $400, and if you are already enticed to buy it, I found the cheapest one on Amazon. I linked it straight below so you can buy it straight from there. But if you need a little bit more convincing, let me go ahead and just jump into it. The Samsung Galaxy S9 actually came out in 2018, early last year, so really a couple months ago it turned 1 year old, but now it's like a year and some change, but still, which is pretty insane because just looking at it, phones, even in just those 1 year, have kind of evolved so much. I mean, Samsung really pushed that whole hole punch display on the screen, no pun intended, and just from the jump to a Galaxy S9 to a Galaxy S10, just in terms of the looks, is a pretty big one, kind of. You know, even though we were kind of almost the bezel-less trend on the Galaxy S9, to the Galaxy S10 is a completely different ballpark, and I'm not going to make this a huge comparison between the two, but just in terms of the design factor, there's a pretty big jump there, which is awesome, and I love seeing improvements. But that's not to say the Galaxy S9 is a horrible phone at all, because it isn't. I'm sure a lot of you know that. On the front, we do have a 5.8-inch Super AMOLED display. It is 1440p, and let me tell you this, okay? No matter what happens, no matter what I tell you about this device, the display on this phone is so sharp. It is so good. It's not the best thing ever, but I really do think even the Galaxy S8's panel was pretty good. I think the newer panels have definitely gotten better and even brighter and everything, but the Samsung Galaxy S9's panel is very, very good. I like it a lot. Samsung really knocks it out of the ballpark every single year with their displays, and this one is no different either. This one has a very, very sharp panel, very good. I never found myself complaining about it at all, and it's definitely one of the best things about this display. It also has a super high pixels per inch density PPI. It's around 570 pixels per inch, so on relatively, I mean, that's pretty big, and that's a high number for pixels per inch, and that might take a hit on the battery life, and I'll get into that later on in this video. But the display is super awesome. There's no home button or anything on the front. It's all nav bar buttons on the bottom. On the bottom of the whole phone, we do have a USB Type-C port, which is awesome. A headphone jack as well, which is very, very cool. And on the back, this is where we have the fingerprint sensor as well as the camera sensor. And I'll get into the camera in a second, but I personally do like the fingerprint sensor. I think it's in a better location since last time of the Galaxy S8. Of course, with the S10, we have gotten the upgraded fingerprint inbuilt screen fingerprint sensor, which is awesome. And I think if it's between those two, obviously the screen fingerprint sensor is cooler. But this one I really have no trouble with, so I have nothing but good things to say about this. Even just the hardware of this phone, the way this phone looks on the outside, it is so awesome, and I love it so much. And even just feeling it, it still feels like a very, very premium phone. Even comparing the Galaxy S9, even the S8 to the S10, in terms of the way they feel in the hand, yes, the S10 feels better, but it's not like a crazy comparison. I still feel like the Galaxy S9 feels like a very premium phone, no doubt. Now, in terms of software, this is one interesting thing, okay? So, like I said, this thing actually started off with Android 8.0, but you are upgradable to Android 9.0 through Samsung's One UI. Now, at the time of me owning it, I did not get that update, which sucked, like I stated. Even on my Galaxy S8, both models that I've owned were really kind of behind on getting that update over the air. Now, I possibly could have actually flashed it through Windows machine, but I did not have a Windows machine installed, Odin, and all that. So I couldn't install it, so I'm sorry. Hopefully next time when I get them, I can get the latest version, but like I said, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And in terms of software, in my opinion, I think the Galaxy S9 is going to get one more version of Android, so it's going to get the Android 10 update. Just like how the Galaxy S8 got One UI, I'm pretty sure the Galaxy S8's life is done for, and then the next update will be the Galaxy S9's last ending point, and then literally right after that, the Galaxy S10's probably going to be done, which is kind of sad to think because it just got released. But so far, a lot of things have been said about the Galaxy S10, both good and bad, but I think it's a very premium phone. It's a very good phone too, and I feel like I've spent like half this video talking about the Galaxy S10, but that's what happens when you're comparing your predecessor to the successor. But in terms of software, you're going to be behind. Just kind of keep that in mind. It's not a huge deal, and you should probably expect that by now with Android devices. But really, at the end of the day, it's not the craziest thing in the world. You will definitely get at least like another year and a half of software updates through this phone. But one quick thing to remember is that this thing does have a custom ROM community behind it. Now, from what I've heard, it's not too crazy hard to root this phone, but it is kind of difficult a little bit. I would kind of do more research on that. But one thing to keep in mind is that even when it's done with software updates, you can always go root it yourself and custom ROM it with ROMs people develop from third parties and just kind of post them online. And there's all different tutorials on whether you should or shouldn't, pros, cons, all that stuff online. But I'll tell you what, if I owned a Galaxy S9 and the life cycle was ending and if it was not getting software updates anymore, I would probably end up rooting in a custom ROMing it, but that's just me. But for the next year and a half, you should be good on software updates for it. So that kind of covers up the software and the outer hardware. Let's go ahead and talk about the inside hardware. So the Galaxy S9 has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 chipset, an octa-core CPU, an Adreno 630 GPU, and 4 gigs of RAM. Now, this is pretty interesting because from the Galaxy S9 to the Galaxy S10, there was quite a bit of a jump increase. I mean, we went from 4 gigs to 8 gigs of RAM, so twice the amount of RAM. But I will say that the Galaxy S9 does not feel like it's a slow phone at all. I mean, I said the same thing with the Galaxy S8. I still think the Galaxy S8's performance is very good, but the Galaxy S9, when I'm using it, it does not feel like a slow device at all. Now, that might come out to you like, oh my god, this thing only has 4 gigs of RAM, it must be so slow, but it must be twice as slow as the Galaxy S10. And yes, the Galaxy S10 is faster, and there's a lot of phones out there that are much faster than the Galaxy S9, but I don't think this phone is completely slow. I don't think it's really slow at all. I still think it's a very fast phone, and I think that's kind of the reputation we're kind of going down. It's like this whole revolution of just like, if a phone is like only a year old, then it's kind of already outdated, and people brag about owning that phone like, oh, I still own a Galaxy S9, like I'm so special because I own older tech. Bro, a Galaxy S9 is not an old phone. A Galaxy S6 is kind of old. The Galaxy S7 is kind of pushing it, but if you own like a Galaxy S8 or even newer phones than that, like you're pretty much set. Like, it's not that old of a phone. With the Galaxy S9, I still think it's very good. If you currently own it, you can probably vouch for that too. When you're opening apps, closing apps, it does not feel like it's a slow phone at all. When I'm gaming with it, it doesn't feel like it's slow either. I've really had no complaints when it comes to the performance of even my S8 to the S9. With a lot of phones around this 2017, 2018 era, I think they've really knocked down on performance, and I don't think we're seeing like crazy speed increases from then, from one year to the other within the last like 2 or 3 years. Yes, there's definitely increases, like I've stated. The Galaxy S10 is a faster phone, but for pretty much everything I've tried to do with my Galaxy S9, it has been perfectly sufficient, and I've had nothing but rave reviews for it, really. So in terms of the performance, the Galaxy S9 gets a thumbs up in my books. I think it's perfect. Of course, I think it's very good. Of course, it could be better. It could be much, much better than anything else. But I think overall, the Galaxy S9 definitely is a pretty good phone in terms of performance. Now, in terms of the camera, this is another interesting thing. So it does have a single camera sensor on the back, and a lot of you guys might look at that and be like, oh my god, that's it. Like, it needs to have 3 more sensors on it and it has to do this, that. I'm telling you, if your usage is even a little bit above average, even if you use your camera all the time, I'm telling you like this, the camera quality on the Galaxy S9 is very, very good. You're not going to use it and feel like you're missing out on anything. Yes, there's some stuff that could be better. Like, I wish there was like an ultra wide photo setting, or maybe you could shoot 4K at like 120 frames if you wanted to do that for some reason. So in terms of that, you're kind of limited. You can do 4K at 60 frames per second. You can shoot wide photos, which is definitely a plus. You can shoot 1080p at up to 240 frames per second, and there's still a lot of features within the camera app, so you can easily go and just turn on and off the settings as you please, unlike iOS where you have to go into the settings app every time. I'm still so salty about that. But in terms of the overall camera quality and everything, I've had no complaints. I think it's a very solid camera, dude. Even going back to like the Galaxy S7, I think that is still a very, very premium camera as well. And I've used the word premium so many times, but I'm telling you, if you're even thinking that this camera quality is bad or not as good as this, as that, yes, the Galaxy S10 is better. Yes, the Google Pixel 3 is better. But in terms of it being itself, if you're not comparing them side by side, you will probably think the Galaxy S9 is probably one of the best camera phones out there right now, even though it's not, but it's a very good sensor. And as long as you're not comparing it side by side, you probably will not even care. The front is 8 megapixels, and I think it's a very good camera as well when you're using the stock app. But if you're using like Snapchat and stuff, the camera quality does go down a little bit, which I still don't understand why they haven't fixed that. Apparently they have tried so far right now with the updated Snapchat, but who knows at this point. You can't shoot 1440p videos on it, so that's very cool. So in terms of the overall camera quality, I think it's very good. A thumbs up in my book, another thumbs up for this phone. So really in terms of that, you're pretty much set. Now to end it off, this thing does have a 3000 mAh battery inside of it, and I'll definitely say It's not a horrible battery life, but it's definitely not like amazing. It's kind of in the middle of the road. So one cool thing is that it does have USB Type-C, so you can easily charge it. It does support fast charging as well, so that's awesome. And this thing has Qi wireless charging as well. But the fact is that the screen is so bright and it has such a high PPI and high resolution that kind of sucks up a lot of battery life in and of itself. So you're going to kind of see the battery life kind of going by fast in terms of that, but I don't think the size in and of itself is small. I think it's kind of average nowadays. The Galaxy S10 does have, I think, a 3400 mAh battery, which is a little bit of an increase, but I do think that the Galaxy S10, because of degradation and all that stuff, granted it hasn't degraded that much, it still has degraded a little bit, and over time phones do kind of, they build up storage in the back with cache and all these different things. So I'll definitely say, to give it a baseline, the Galaxy S9's battery life isn't bad. It's not even like, I would say it's a little bit above average. I think that's the best way I can put it. You definitely won't be thinking that this thing will last like 2-3 days, but you probably will be able to get a day out of it. I know if I took my iPhone 10 usage and put it on this, I might have to charge it by the end of the day, but I would definitely be able to tell. Like, I wouldn't be like halfway through the day and seeing my phone die. I think that's the best way I can put it. So it pretty much covers up the main topics I wanted to talk about. Some other notable things to know, like I've stated, this thing has a micro SD card slot, which is awesome. That is a killer feature to have when you're owning a phone like this, which is awesome. This thing also is IP68 dust and waterproof, so you can go up to 1.5 meters of water for 30 minutes, so that is awesome. And man, what I will tell you is, like I've stated early on, this phone is completely still worth it in 2019. If you currently own it, it is a solid phone. I see nothing that just stands out to me that it's a horrible phone at all. On my usage, when I was using it, I loved it. I see no reason why this is a horrible phone, or even like not worth it in 2018. It's a very, very good phone. Even between the Galaxy S10 and the Galaxy S9, I think you're getting a better value per dollar from a Galaxy S9 than a Galaxy S10. So if you're one of those people who are just waiting to get a Galaxy S9, I'm telling you right now, you are getting a better value per dollar from an S9 than an S10, because I've seen Galaxy S9s for sale on Amazon for less than $400, which is amazing. The Galaxy S10s right now are selling for almost $1,000 after taxes. So in my opinion, you're probably better off getting a certified refurbished Galaxy S9 from Amazon and saving some money and using that money to go buy me dinner or go buy your date a new pair of Gucci shoes or something. Whatever you want to do, save that money, whatever you want to do. But I'll go ahead and leave a link to that cheapest Galaxy S9 that I find on Amazon. Make sure you buy it through that link, because a little bit of that revenue does come back to the channel and helps us do more videos like this, more comparisons and more giveaways. So that'll mean so much. But man, that is pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much. But definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I would really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.